Now, a leak has revealed the US Supreme Court is preparing to overturn the landmark Roe versus Wade ruling protecting women's right to abortion. It means individual states would then be free to set their own rules, allowing abortion to be further restricted or even outlawed in some states. Here's the latest from Sky News UK again.
For half a century, a woman's right to abortion has been protected. By June, it's likely that will have been snatched away. A newly right-leaning Supreme Court poised to revoke a constitutional right for the first time in history. President Biden has struggled to confront the issue head-on. This leak forcing him to say the word abortion aloud for the first time in his presidency.
It concerns me a great deal that we're going to, after 50 years, decide a woman does not have a right to choose.
The fact this draft decision has been leaked to a political website ahead of time is startling. The privacy of the Supreme Court is usually paramount.
Roe v. Wade is going to go, hey, hey!
An inquiry has been launched to find the source of the leak. But the bigger question is how America, 50 years after legalising abortion, has come to this, and what happens next.
Now, as you know, Barbara Heineback is a former Democrat White House advisor, and she joins me now. Good to talk to you again, Barbara. Abortion has been such a hot-button political issue in the United States for decades. This decision coming out as it is preemptively through a leak is already tearing apart the political fibre of the nation.
Yeah. Hi, Chris. It's good to see you. It's sad to say that after 50 years of women having the right to choose, now all of a sudden everything is up in the air. But I think it's a lot more than that that's at play. What's really going on is a political ploy because, first of all, the Republicans thought they were on a red wave to just ride through the midterms, and it was going to be a red tsunami of Republicans picking up a lot of votes. And now, because Biden has failed in so many areas, inflation, immigration, open borders, we've had crime at a high, food costs, gasoline gone up. And now all of a sudden what happened yesterday with this leak from SCOTUS, from our Supreme Court, Democrats feel like, thank heaven they have a safety vote to avoid having to talk about the failures of the Biden administration. First of all, Biden was anti-abortion for many decades while he was in the Senate. And this is one of the first times he's ever come out to say that, of course, he's for women's rights and a woman's right to choose. What I find humorous almost is that we have been looking at the transgender issues for so long over the last year or so that pronouns he and she have almost been removed and women have been removed, and men, it's all about transgender and I'm an X or a question mark, haven't figured out what my sex is. It's all about the rediscovery of a woman who is a woman who has the right to choose if she has birth or not.
Yeah, there's a lot of hypocrisy in the debate. I noticed today someone saying, you know, men aren't allowed to have an opinion on abortion, but men can have babies. There's this sort of debate going on. But there's a couple of levels here, right? The Supreme Court hasn't made its ruling. This is a leak of a draft majority decision. So we understand that that's where the court was going. That would be dealt with as a matter of law and by legislation. It would be a big issue, but dealt with by legislation and law. But another issue is just the leak itself. When you have such a draft leaked from the Supreme Court, that's a deep worry, isn't it?
This is a huge disgrace to the country. And, you know, we have a tri-government. It's the justice, it's the Congress, and it's the executive office. And this is one of the highest leaks or breaches of our the bedrock of democracy. And your usual suspect networks are not even mentioning the leak. And it's all about, well, this report has come out as though it's something legal. And of course it's not. And then you had Kamala Harris talking about it today and actually giving a big speech about the protection of women when she has been very pro the progressive.
You are so right that it's given them something else to talk about. I just want to show you briefly some of what the President Joe Biden had to say, and maybe you can decipher for me what he's actually trying to say, because I have no idea.
So the idea that we're going to make a judgment that is going to say that no one can make the judgment to choose to abort a child based on a decision by the Supreme Court, I think goes way overboard.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
In 30 words or less, Barbara, can you tell me what his view there is?
Oh, heck no. But let's look at where I really believe the focus needs to be and what the Democrats are not going to talk about.
All right, then, very quickly.
79% of all abortion places are in Black American neighborhoods and have been for over 40 years. And most of the abortions are of young Black American girls who are having them legally and or illegally. Why hasn't the focus begun to talk about training these young women and actually helping them out of the poverty and talking about the parents? And why don't you know where your children and where your young girls are and doing some teaching and training and putting the responsibility in the family and in the
supporting those communities. A point very well made. Thanks for joining us again, Barbara. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris.